All righty, guys. Good to see y'all. I missed you. You know, what a great day to be a Trojan. One of the things I've learned in my 7 years here is what a very special product that we have at USC when it comes to recruiting. You're talking about one of the top 15 academic private school educations there is in the country right now. And then you truly look at the athletic program here in all 21 sports, and you look how young men and women are built and really trained to be professionals, both on and off the field. Not only their 4 years here, but what they're going to do their next 30, 40, 50 years. That message, I think, transitions, and that cell really transitions over to not only young people, but obviously their families. And it's something in my 7 years that I've really have grown fond of and really appreciate the product that we have to sell. I've also learned in my time here how important relationships are and consistency is. One of the things that I really appreciate, you know, going through this year with, you know, having 5 new position coaches, 3 new coordinators, a new head coach, a new quarterback, us becoming one as a team and with great chemistry. That consistency of growing together and then keeping that consistent force going through recruiting, I thought was invaluable. You know, when you look at today's realm of college football and you see all the coaching changes that happen out there, whether it's head coaches, whether it's position coaches, to look up and to have every full-time coach here with us and going into our next season, I thought was really, really important. I think the success that was had over the last 8 games, including the Rose Bowl, including that 9th victory in a row, really added fuel to that fire of consistency, that this is a program on the rise and it's something that kids wanted to be able to come to. You know, we're very, very proud of the young men that we're bringing in to our Trojan family. Not only are they extremely amazing talents, but these are incredible people and with amazing families. That's what I took away in the recruiting process of going from home to home and being able to meet these families. That's what we sell, faith, family, and football. And I think that family aspect of being able to watch us, whether it's our coaches, with our wives or children, them coming together and seeing us and how genuine this group is, I think really carried over to this group. It felt natural. As a coach, you know, you hope to keep all your commitments. You know, it's hard to do. And to go into today and not lose one kid that was committed on signing day, and then gain some kids that you knew were so talented that you were going to be in battles with other great universities around the country, and to be able to get those signatures, it was one of those special days. This is my 22nd year of doing it, and you know, it was one of those neat days where everything just came together. It was one of those perfect days. Also, you know, I really felt going into this class, you looked at how much West Coast talent is out there, and you wish you had more than 23 scholarships, I'll be honest with you. But we really felt there was so much West Coast talent year after year that we really could focus on staying home this year. And you look at the 21 of the 23 recruits, and they're right here from the West Coast, whether it was California, Utah, Oregon, Arizona, Nevada, American Samoa, Alaska, and then going out. You know, when we go out for national talent, they have to be special. And we went to Texas and we went to Florida, and we got 2 what we felt are really special kids to come into our family. National Signing Day has become a great experience. It's made for TV. I've been watching it since 4 a.m. today, and it's been absolutely awesome. But as a coach, you can't get necessarily caught up in the stars or the rankings. I think primarily you have to look at the holes that you need to fill and the needs that you need. The fact of the matter is we had a successful season last year, but at the end of the day, USC is about winning championships here. We finished 3rd in the country, but our ultimate goal is to finish number 1. And to be able to do that, we had to meet some needs right from the get-go in this class. I've always felt that championships are won by big men and playing great defense. And starting on defense, you know, when you lose a Tui Colovato, you know that you're going to have to bring some big men in. And to have a Marlon Tuipulotu come in, a Jay Tufeli, a Brandon Peely, a Jacob Lichtenstein, and then to bring a great edge rusher in, with Hunter Echols, we really felt we bolstered that defensive line group in this class. Right behind him, you put 3 really talented linebackers in Levi Jones, who is really a great versatile player that can truly play Sam, Mike, or Will. Giuliano Falanico, Taylor Katoa is going to add to a good linebacker group. And then you put a really special secondary, I thought, 2 elite corners in our mind in Jakari Godfrey, who brings a lot of length to the position, and then one of the more special 3-way players that we thought were in the country in Greg Johnson. I'm going to go to bed tonight and thank the Lord for the 2 safeties. What 2 special young men to come on their same trip, the same recruiting weekend, and look at each other and say, hey, let's go do something special together. You know, a lot of times in recruiting, kids get caught up in depth chart or egos. Not these 2 kids. They wanted to come to USC. They wanted to do something special. They said, let's come do it together. I cannot think of 2 more special young men, not only on the West Coast but the country, to be able to come help us win championships. Offensively, you know, we needed to fill some holes and needed to get some unique talent at the skill positions. And again, it starts up front. Losing 2 tackles on the year, you know, in Zach and Chad, along with Damian going out early to the NFL, we really felt like we needed to really bolster that group. To bring in Andrew Voorhees, who's already here on campus, and to add Austin Jackson, Elijah Vera-Tucker, and Brett Nealon, we really feel like that group is a especially talented group that can come in and help us. They have a physical and mental maturity that could come in and compete right off the bat. Skill-wise, I love USC. It attracts the best skill in the country, and you look at the West Coast, and there's a plethora. And we decided to, you know, to stay kind of right here at home. Jack Sears from San Clemente. We had 1 quarterback from San Clemente. We decided to get 2, and he's special also. We're so glad that he's here, and here as a midtermer. We also brought in Stephen Carr, who is, we felt, one of the more complete backs in the country, and every down back, 210 pounds right now. Very physical runner, extremely effective catcher out of the backfield, and great pass protector, and every down back that is truly elite. We brought in 2 tight ends, Josh Follow and Eric Croman-Hoke, that we feel can come in and help that tight end position grow and help us win games. And then we lost 4 really, really big men when you look at us wide receiver-wise last year on the outside, and we were able to, we saw that ahead of time. You saw some kids that we signed last year that had great size. We add 2 more in Joseph Lewis and Randall Grimes, 2 special players on the West Coast that we hope will come in and create immediate impact. And then the last guy, I hope this is the only time I ever say his name because that's usually a good thing, but you have to be able to invest in your special teams. I don't know if any of y'all know who Zach Smith is, but for 4 years he was perfect in all his snaps. And we've invested in that position again by bringing Damon Johnson in. And hopefully he'll be perfect too for 4 more years and you won't hear his name again. It's been a great day. Thank y'all for coming. And if there's any questions that you have, I'll be glad to answer. Jim?
Coach, in many ways it seems like this school has reloaded because you lose someone like Juju in one position, and then here you go and you replace him with Joseph Lewis. And the other question I'd like to ask is, when you went on these recruiting trips, was the Rose Bowl game and the way it was played, was that like the topic of discussion before you got down to recruiting?
Yeah, you know, it was one of those exciting games, one of those games that'll go down in history, and everybody did talk about it, and it got so much media attention and so much hype of the game building up, and it lived up to it. 2 great teams playing in USC and Penn State, and it just showed one more game of consistency. You know, the 8 games prior, I thought really helped us in recruiting, and then to be able to make that statement, to win that Rose Bowl game, to finish as one of the top 5 teams in the country was important for us. It's not where we want to be, but it showed a level of consistency that I thought was important, and it really was important to, I know, the kids out there being in their homes.
This was your first full recruiting cycle, Coach. Did you find that familiarity helped, that people kind of know what you're about and kind of see full season?
Yeah, I've always said I've got a head start, you know, because when you're here for 7 years, these kids, not only do you've just known them for maybe 6 months, you've known these kids for years, especially these West Coast kids, 21 out of 23, we've watched grow up. So to be able to be here going into my 8th season now, those relationships are important. That's what it's all about, in my opinion, is that trust. You know, there's basically 3 ways that you earn a kid's trust. One, your character, you know, 2, your competency and being competent and your knowledge and how you can develop them, and then 3, let them know that you care about them, and that takes time, and to be able to be here for a number of years and build those relationships definitely helps.
What have your last 24 hours been
Not a lot of sleep, but it's all well worth it. You know, I've always said this is a player's game. You know, coaches are nice, but players are better. It's about the men that you surround yourself with, especially in the player category. Players win games, and you got to know this has become kind of like a second season, pretty much in college football. The way the entertainment factor is, and the way the fan base is, it's special to everybody. You know, it might as well be a national holiday. You know, I think a lot of people were watching TV today, but it's something that is very important because you're only going to win games by the players that you bring in and then the leadership that you put around them. And fortunately, we've surrounded ourselves with good leadership in the coaching staff that we have, that we've been able to acquire, be able to keep, and now you see the talent coming in also.
How confident were you that Levi Jones had a third shirt? Did you have
yeah, you know, it's very few times in my 22 years have you not known that you've got a kid. There's only been a couple. Dory Jackson comes to mind, was one. I didn't know which way he was going, but Levi saved me from a heart attack today. I felt pretty good last night. I knew we were in a battle with some really fine universities, some good coaching staffs, and then right prior to him going on TV, he texted me and said, "Coach, I'm a Trojan. I love you and can't wait." So.
He didn't tell you about the jersey?
No, he did not. I'm going to tell you, thank God he texted me. I would have had a heart attack right there. But it was very entertaining. Thank goodness that he allowed me to know.
Coach, you just mentioned something that I think is really important to your men, as you refer to them. You don't refer to your players as kids or anything like that. You refer to them as men. From your young men that I've talked to, they appreciate that almost as much as anything else.
Yeah, I've always believed, you know, if you want to be treated like a man, act like a man. And, you know, they come in here as young men, and your responsibility as a coach and a leader is to make sure they leave as grown men and true professionals, whether that's on or off the field. And I've always felt this university in all 21 sports does an amazing job of that. You know, the fact of the matter is only 2% of all these kids that go into college football are going to go on to the NFL, and then the average NFL lifespan is 3.3 years, you know. So you better be training them for the reality of the real world, and that's one of the things I really appreciate about this university. It's its administrations, its resources. It truly, truly helps the student athlete for after football.
How important is it that you got 11 kids from Phoenix and Salt Lake City and Northern California and kind of Oregon, Washington there? How important is it to be able to go in there and get those best kids?
It's really, really important because I think you have a lot of success when you stay right here at home as far as the homesickness, your family's being right here. You know, we've always said that if you go out and get the national talent that you truly think that player is truly special and it's the right fit for you and this university, and they're going to be able to fit Los Angeles, California, this media market, you know. And we found 2 kids that were out there in Levi and Jake that it was just a perfect fit for them. But then to be able to stay home and be able to get that local talent, not only in California, but those states that surround us, that they're either going to be on your team or you're going to play against them. And the guys that we signed today, I don't want to play against. They're talented.
Do you consider those guys local?
Yes, definitely. I mean, when you look up and you're signing a J. Tufele out of Utah, that's the #1 player in the state of Utah. You get 2 great players out of Arizona in Austin Jackson and Isaiah Palomao. You know, I think they're 1 and 2 in that state. Marlon from Oregon. You know, Bubba from Vegas, Randall Grimes from Vegas. You know, you look at those surrounding states, Alaska, American Samoa. You know, we really pulled from right here at home, where not only they're going to be able to play in a very comfortable environment, but their families are going to be able to watch them too. So that's important.
When you get as many late commitments as you did and get a lot of them, it's a good thing, of course. But what kind of challenges does that present roster management-wise?
Yeah, definitely. I think that you go into the day knowing that you better have some backup plans, especially in my experience being here. You're going after the best of the best, and when you do that, you see a lot of these kids make decisions very late. The best of the best kids do, and some of them make them early. But you know, we had 6 young men that we were after today, and we batted really well, you know, and won those battles. And you have to have some plans that if you miss, where's the next step to? But today was a really good day.
Were there any guys that you were interested in that you had to make other arrangements or had to cut them loose or anything?
As far as
Because you got 6 guys late, were there any guys?
Yeah, you know, as I've told you, just said earlier, Zach, we kind of knew going into the day that we were the leader on most of the guys that coming in. We felt really confident, you know, and tried to be as honest as we can with the other young men that are out there, brutally honest that, hey, you know, we don't have a scholarship right now. You may want to be able to look at other places. But you know, you hope and pray that, you know, the guys that know what USC is about, want the academic education, want to be a part of this program, that they're going to pull the trigger. And this place, thank goodness, I don't think it's all me and the coach staff. I give credit to this university and what it is, happens to bat very well, and we're very fortunate to be here.
Stephen Carr was one of Stephen Carr was one of the early commits, 5-star guys.
Yeah.
What kind of running back is he, and how does he fit into your offensive scheme?
You know, really, when we saw Stephen early, was just so excited about him being not only a big back at 210 pounds, but also an every down back. You know, you look at him running between the tackles, excellent. You look at him on outside run plays, excellent. Unbelievable out of the backfield. He's as good a receiver as he is a running back sometimes. You know, when you spread him out, when you've watched the tape, he's amazing. And then with that physical structure and his physicality, he's excellent in pass protection. So he's a guy that I don't think that you have to pull off at any point in time. You can leave it, you can go out there. And plus, getting to know him, having talked some football with him, incredibly football instinctive. I mean, his football maturity and football IQ is off the charts. So very, very good talent. He was one that, you know, today we knew we couldn't let get away because he's special.
Does he remind you of anyone?
I actually told him whether he ends up being this or not, but he reminds me a little bit of Ezekiel Elliott. You know, how Ezekiel is that every down guy, and Elliott does an unbelievable job out of the backfield and things like that. Now, he's got a long way to go before he is that. He's not a finished product, but he has those qualities. He has those traits that you don't have to pull him out on any down.
You mentioned the wide receiver position. You guys brought in Jody Lewis and Brandon Grimes.
Yeah.
Lewis obviously being the #1 wide receiver prospect in the country. How much of an impact do you think they'll have coming in day one?
I think they're going to be given the opportunity to compete right now, and we expect them to do great things here, whether that's day 1 or day 101. But they were brought here for a reason, and one of the things when we looked at it, and thank goodness we looked at it 2 years ago, what was going to happen. You know, losing a DeQuan Hampton, an Isaac Whitney, a Darius Rogers, and a Juju Smith, those are 4 big men. And fortunately, we signed some outside receivers last year that could help us. They redshirted last year, and then bring in two, again, big men. I mean, Joseph Lewis, 213 pounds right now, and just a grown man. And then you look at Randall Grimes sitting there at about 207 right now at 6'3". You know, you're talking about two big targets that can go up and have great high ball skills and be easy targets for Sam and the rest of our quarterbacks. So I thought it was imperative to get them. You know, we really worked extremely hard to bring those two kids in, and we'll have to develop them really fast, as well as the other young wideouts that are already on campus. They're going to have to really step up like a Deontay Burnett did for us last year. There'll have to be some kids that step up in a hurry.
Has Sam texted you and reacted to the couple wide receivers he's got?
Now, I'll be honest with you. I've been on the phone with the other 18-year-olds that were signing today. I haven't checked my phone yet since the media, but I'm looking forward to going with Sam to his award banquet, the Archie Griffith Award in Columbus, Ohio this Saturday. So I know we'll be visiting on it, headed that way.
Did you find that Sam was a selling point for the two receivers and two tight ends?
Oh, no question. I mean, when you're talking about skilled athletes, and I think that's one of the great sells at USC. I mean, you think about from 2001 on, I mean, from Carson to Matt Leinart to John David Booty, Mark Sanchez, Matt Barkley, Cody Kessler, all these great quarterbacks that have been here. That tradition's going to just keep going on. I mean, whether it's Sam Darnold, Matt Fink, Jack Sears, I mean, those are really, really talented kids that can spin the ball. And that's one of the things I think that tight ends and wide receivers and even running backs understand, that they're always going to be a quality quarterback here that can get me the ball when I'm open. And yeah, Sam's a huge selling point, no question.
This isn't necessarily USC specific, but when you look at a five-star caliber player, someone that everyone in the country wants, besides injury, what are the factors that usually contribute to those type of guys not really living up to the expectations that maybe?
You know, a lot of times every person's different, and I think the light clicks on. I've always believed that for a young man, I try to tell them, as far as the football aspect, make sure that you find the right system for you, make sure you find the right opportunity, and then see if it's the right fit. You know, usually by recruiting and evaluation, you know, we make sure that you're a good system fit. You know, but I always tell quarterbacks, if you're a drop back quarterback and you're looking at a zone read scheme, you know, that may not be your perfect fit. That's part of your job and your evaluation. Just like we're evaluating you, you evaluate us. The next is the opportunity to compete and be able to be out there from day one and know that the best player is going to play. That's what I love about this place. It's always been that way. It's been guys that have come in here and never shied away from competition. They know the best players are going to come here. They know it's about competing, and it makes it very easy for a coach. But they know from day one the best player is going to play, and it doesn't matter if you're a freshman or you're a senior. The fact of the matter is, if you don't win ball games, they're going to find a new coach. So you know that you're going to be able to come to USC and compete in a hurry. And then the fit, that's really a kid's decision, you know, and a family decision. You know, do you like Los Angeles? Do you like the fat, ball-headed, you know, head coach? Do you get along with the players? Do you fit in with the team? You know, those are things that you answer when you come on the official visit. And if you have the right system, you have the right opportunity, you have the right fit, man, you better really consider it, because that's a special thing, especially when it's USC.
It's my understanding that Stevie Tuihalamatu was helpful with recruiting. Is that right?
No, from an example standpoint, I think it was extremely helpful. I think he's, you know, to be able to show that a young man could come in and do what he did in 1 year, I think is extremely helpful. I mean, we show film on him all the time of what he does and what he brought to the table, and to be able to show that to young men, especially big men, I think was invaluable, because I think they could come in and say, wow, they had to bring that guy in. He played, now he's gone. Maybe I can fill that position. And to see what he's doing now at the Senior Bowl and how he was developed by KU and Clancy, I think it was a great selling point. Yeah.
With freshman bigs here, either they play because you don't have enough guys that can play, or they're big Leonard Williams.
Mm-hmm.
what about these guys? Do you know, could you see some of these freshmen then playing?
Yeah, there's that opportunity that we talk about, especially on the offensive line. I mean, you look right now and you lose two offensive tackles and a guard that have played here for a long time. What a great opportunity to compete right off the bat, as whether you're an interior player or a tackle. I think that's intriguing to guys. Everybody, I think, has been well documented on the defensive line that we have been thin, and there creates another opportunity to compete. So, you know, we're going to be counting on some big men. I remember the year that we had to put Vianney and Toa and Damian out there and how well they executed. If you're the best player, you're going to go out there. Now it's our job as coaches to develop them in a hurry. And we have some kids here that will be going through spring and that we feel are good players. We're going to try to get them ready. We'll allow them to compete with the freshmen when they come in training camp, and then we'll put the best 22 out there for the opening game versus Western Michigan.
You guys have had a couple of local schools that have kind of fed you multiple players over, you know, 5, 6, 7 years. How important is it kind of open up the door with Hawkins, with them being a new school right down the street and them having a lot of talent?
Yeah, you know, we're so blessed in Southern California. It's a metropolis of talent, and what I have found is extremely well coached football players, tough-nosed, kids that are college ready. Very unique, and that's why, you know, you have to do, when you're at USC, I think you have to do a great job locally. And each year, I think there's programs that have, all of a sudden, there's kids that all of a sudden you have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids that are in that class. And, you know, this year, Hawkins had 2 elite talents in Joseph and in Greg. You know, the programs that have been out there in the past, the Sarahs, the Long Beach Bollies, the Mater Days, the Boscos, they're always going to be there. And there'll be years where they have great groups, and then there may be a little bit of a dip and then come back up. But we're very, very fortunate. This is very fertile ground for recruiting. All righty, guys. Thank you.